Hi everyone, and happy Friday. It's been about a week since my last video, so I wanted to update everyone. Last week was when I got the infusion that gave me a temperature and made me sick. After I posted my video, I think it was the following day, that night I had an attack like I used to have before my transplant. And it was pretty upsetting for me because the attacks are like, they're hard to describe, but basically my whole body starts burning out and sweating profusely. My heart starts racing. It's like an anxiety attack. It's similar, but it's different. It might partially be an anxiety attack, but there's other components to it. Because it's like a very vasovagal response. So for example, my blood pressure goes down way low. I know that because I had an attack once when my nurse was here a couple years ago. The nurse went to put the needle in, and I wasn't in any pain. I didn't know anything happened, but all of a sudden the attack happened, and he took my blood pressure while it was going on, and it was 60/30. So I know that when these things happen, it's like a vasovagal. My blood pressure goes super low, my heart rate goes super high, and my body starts burning out, and it tries to get back into some sort of equilibrium. And depending on how bad it is, it can take a couple minutes or longer. And so that happened, and I was pretty upset for a couple reasons. One, it was a bad one. It was so bad that it actually woke up my kids who were in other rooms, because I was like making so much noise, like panting and grunting from the sweating and and trying to stop the vasovagal response. One thing they told me to do to try to stop this thing is to bear down like you're going to poop. So that's what I was doing too. I was trying to push down like I was going to poop to get my body out of this vasovagal thing that was going on and everything during the night. And so while I was doing that, I started going. And so, had to try to get into the bathroom and everything and take care of that. So it was pretty bad and exhausting to go through. I would say the whole thing was like probably 30 to 40 minutes from the start to when I woke up and I was feeling nauseous and my body was sweating, and I'm like, okay, something's not right. From that until when I was finally, like, I had just finished sweating out and I was drenched and laying on the bathroom floor, and finally, like, okay, like not feeling like I was going to die, like 30 to 40 minutes probably. So it was a rough one. And so after that, remembering how I used to go through those routinely before transplant, I got discouraged because not knowing when that's going to happen to you and not knowing if you're going to pull out of it is very like anxiety producing, when you don't know what your body's going to do, when you don't know what you can expect from your body. And before, I knew it was happening because a combination of something wrong with my immune system, all the treatments I was going through, and this issue I've had ever since I got the shingles on my spine, where it's just my spine is very sensitive. So there's areas where I got the shingles where my spine is sensitive, and I think if I get, certain responses happen, it'll trigger something in my nervous system, sort of like a cascade failure or something, which then, I have to try to pull out of. So that was rough, and it's really been hard for me to deal with emotionally because I was hoping that those attacks were completely behind me. I guess the good news is it was at least 5 months between me having an attack, and that's the longest I've ever gone since 2020 when they started. They actually started in late 2019. The attack started as a result of the overdose with daratumumab. When I was getting my Dara treatments, I think I had like treatment 4 or 5, or I don't hold me to that. But at one of the treatments, when it had triggered and my NK cells were bottoming out, that's when I started to have these horrible burnouts and these things that would happen, mostly during the night, but sometimes during the day, that were very scary, and was unsure what to do. And then thankfully had one where my nurse was here, and when that happened, I was able to learn some techniques like to bear down and a little bit about the physiology of what was going on during these attacks. So that's been going on. Since then, since I had the big attack, I've had some mild attacks where it feels like I'm, where my body's leading up to going into one of those things. But I'm, able to, stop it from happening. I bear down, I do breathing exercises, and I've been able to stop another one from happening that badly. But if you can just, continue to keep me in your prayers. I'm a little discouraged because since I got that infusion last week, I just have not felt right. I mean, it's hard to say because it's like I felt sick for so long, but I was finally starting to feel strong and a little bit better. I was starting to go out, go walking, feel like I could like walk around the block and be strong while doing it. And that was after my infusion last week. That's all gone, and it's not back yet. So I went out and did a short walk and felt exhausted the whole time over the weekend. And then today I got plants over the weekend I wanted to put in, and I was just too tired. And today I was like, I've got to get them in. And so, thankfully I only got a few plants and I was able to get them in. But when I was done, I was completely exhausted and just I was drenched in sweat, and it wasn't like hot out or anything. And I had to lay down. So, and that's something, I could have handled a couple weeks ago. Not when I first got out of the hospital, I couldn't have handled it, but I got up to the point where I was well enough to put some plants in the ground, especially because I'm planting raised beds. And so I'm planting at a height of 4 feet. So it's really easy. It's like right at my chest level, I'm doing this planting. So it really was made easy for me, but it was really difficult. So yeah. The other thing that's happened since last week in the immune infusion is I lost some of the weight that I've put on. So since I came out of the hospital, I put on about 30 pounds-ish, a lot. It was surprising to me. I didn't realize it because I was wearing sweatpants until I went to the doctor. And I was like, oh, wow. So, but since I was feeling so sick since last week, I've taken off 7 of those pounds, which I'm eating as much as I can, but I've been not feeling well, nauseous and a lot of burning. And that's the other thing I wanted to ask you guys about, because people on my meditation group were talking about having symptoms from the sun. All the solar flares, there's been huge solar flares. And I'm wondering if maybe some of that is what's going on with me, because it is, I mean, it could still all be from a bad immune infusion, but it's been 9 days since my immune infusion. Yeah, 9 days. It was last Wednesday. I guess, if say the immune infusion didn't do me any good, well, I guess that would be why I'm feeling this way too, because the reason why I get them every 3 weeks is to give me more of an immune system to help me be stronger and to fight things. So, maybe this is how I feel if I miss it, and maybe the batch I got last week just wasn't good at all. Not only did it make me sick, but maybe I got no help from it for anything either. And in that case, I guess it'll mean another week and a half until I get my next immune infusion. I'm due the Tuesday after next for the next one. And so hopefully that'll be a good batch and I'll feel much better. So let's hope for that. But I'm curious to hear about people's symptoms with like the solar rays and things like that. I don't know. I may try to do a live. Last time I tried, it said YouTube needed like 24 hours to set something up. So, but I might try to do a live today just to see if I can get anybody else to come on and talk about how they've been feeling and see if it's similar to how I'm feeling. Like it feels similar to, somewhat similar to hot flashes like menopause. But it's not the hot flash. It comes up and then it goes down, and this just comes and then it's there, so and it stays. It's like a hot burn time, and it just lasts. So I don't know, maybe it is hormonal though. I have been on hormones for about a year now, a very low dose, and they got because I was getting headaches every month as I was going through like perimenopause, and I was still getting my period. I'm not getting it anymore. I was still getting my period, but I was getting terrible migraines each month. So I got on a low dose of hormones, and I'm still on that low dose of hormones. The doctor said it's fine, and I'm not getting the headaches, and it should keep me from getting really bad hot flashes. I imagine I still get some. I know I do, but I don't think it's hot flashes. I guess it could be the bad immune infusion, or it could be the stuff going on with the sun. And let me describe some of what I'm feeling. So I get like a burning like in my chest, and it's not like there's a burning that comes up here, and that's like reflux. This is like a burning that shoots through to my back instead of up. So it's different. It shoots through to my back, and then my back burns, and then it burns in the center of my back, a little bit lower than right between my shoulder blades, a little bit lower than that, and it burns in that spot there and then shoots out from side to side like that in my back. So that's how that works. And then I'll start sweating out, and like that's like the big symptom. The other thing I've been feeling is like a skin crawling kind of feeling. Not like I'm scared, and not like itchy. It's a feeling I can't really describe, but it's like a heat on my skin, but I don't feel itchy and I don't have any rashes. So I'm just curious, and I would love to hear from you guys. And I love you all. And let's keep intending for everybody who is less fortunate than we are. There are a lot of them. I just saw a report that 300,000 people have died since the cuts implemented to USAID. 300,000 additional deaths. That's a lot of suffering. So let's remember to put our positive intentions out there for the removal and the release of the suffering of others. Thank you all, and I love you all so much.